I'm Donna.
And I'm Bruce. And this is Lyrical Wisdom.
Hello, everyone. Thanks for tuning in to Lyrical Wisdom, where we dive into song lyrics and offer heart-based wisdom through our interpretations. If you enjoy what you're hearing, don't forget you can catch every episode of Lyrical Wisdom on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Amazon Music, and more.
You can also find us on YouTube. Just search Lyrical Wisdom Show. Do you have a song you'd like to hear us shed some light on? You can email us requests, questions, comments to lyricalwisdomshow@gmail.com. That's lyricalwisdomshow@gmail.com. Or leave a comment on a YouTube video. We'd really love to hear from you. And all requests get an episode and a shout out.
So join us every Tuesday and Friday as we dig deep and deliver our wisdom. And thank you for sharing, liking, and subscribing to Lyrical Wisdom. Good morning, Bruce.
Good morning, Donna.
How are you today?
I'm feeling like this is another day in paradise.
I love that. I love that. Welcome to paradise, everybody.
Yes, welcome to paradise.
Yes, I love it here on Paradise, here on Lyrical Wisdom, where we sit in paradise and bring you our wisdom.
Yes, and I love the lineup that we have for you guys today.
Me too.
I think this is going to be amazing.
You know, this is one of my favorite songs. I have to kind of tell a truth about myself. I believe I am a little country girl at heart.
I think that I am a little bit of a country boy myself.
Really?
Yeah. Growing up and being in this world in my existence, in my experience, I didn't think that I appreciated country music as much as I do. And I resisted that, and I don't know why.
Yeah.
But I love it.
I do too. And country music, always to me, it tells a story.
Oh my goodness, yes.
There's so many country songs that are stories.
They are.
Yeah.
And it's funny because one of the songs that we're going to do today, I almost feel like it bridges two different kinds of genres, if you will. Mm-hmm. And I think it kind of bridges the bluegrass side and country side.
Yeah. I love them both.
Me too.
I love them both. I had a horse in high school, and that was what I listened to on my radio, just country music.
Oh my goodness, I love it. Well, The first time I heard this song that we're going to do next was a live performance of people that I actually knew locally where we used to live.
Wow.
In Pennsylvania.
Okay.
I had friends that would sing in a band, and their band was at a bluegrass night at a local restaurant where we used to live. And they came in and sang the song, and it was just so beautiful and so amazing that I fell in love with it immediately. I had no idea that other people had recorded it for popular.
Me neither. The first time I heard this song was by the artist that made it popular. I'll say that much.
Yes.
So anyway, without
Further ado,
here we go, people. The song of the day is Wagon Wheel by Old Crow Machine Show. Originally written by Bob Dylan with Ketch Secor.
Wow.
Fascinating, huh?
That is fascinating.
But as you guys know, it was popularized by Darius Rucker.
It was, and I think it's actually Old Crow Medicine Show.
Old Crow Medicine Show. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
All right.
That's what I said, right? Old Crow Medicine Show.
Yes.
They were the first ones to sing the song.
I believe
but
so.
But it was written by Bob Dylan.
Yeah, I didn't know that.
And Ketch Secor. I didn't either.
No idea that he wrote that song.
I didn't either, but I'm going to have to research that, y'all. But if you have a chance, I want to hear the original Wagon Wheel by Old Crow Medicine Show. But take a moment to listen to this song today and let it soothe your soul.
Yeah.
Wagon Wheel, popularized by Darius Rucker. heading down south to the land of the pines. I'm thumbing my way into North Carolina, staring up the road and pray to God I see headlights. I made it down the coast in 17 hours, picking me a bouquet of dogwood flowers. And I'm a-hoppin' for Raleigh, I'm a-hopin' for Raleigh, I can see my baby tonight. So, rock me, mama, like a wagon wheel. Rock me, mama, any way you feel. Hey, mama, rock me. Rock me, mama, like the wind and the rain. Rock me, mama, like a southbound train. Hey, mama, rock me. Running from the cold up in New England, I was born to be a fiddler in an old-time string band. My baby plays a guitar, I pick a banjo now. Oh, North Country winters keep a-gettin' me down. Lost my money playin' poker, so I had to leave town. But I ain't a-turnin' back to livin' that old life no more. So rock me, mama, like a wagon wheel. Rock me, mama, any way you feel. Hey, mama, rock me. Rock me, mama, like the wind and the rain. Rock me, mama, like a southbound train. Hey, mama, rock me. Walking to the south out of Roanoke, I caught a trucker out of Philly, had a nice long toque, but he's a-headin' west from the Cumberland Gap to Johnson City, Tennessee, and I gotta get a move on before the sun. I hear my baby calling my name, and I know that she's the only one. And if I died in Raleigh, at least I will die free. So rock me, mama, like a wagon wheel. Rock me, mama, any way you feel. Hey, mama, rock me. Rock me, mama, like the wind and the rain. Rock me, mama, like a southbound train. Hey, mama, rock me.
Wow. I love this song. It kind of reminds me, and when we talk about the country music and how we say that it can seem like it's a story. Mm-hmm. This song in particular makes me think of Kenny Rogers and the Gambler. It just came to me when you were reading that. I thought, holy cow, this reminds me of that kind of flow. And that's one of the things that I love about this song is that it isn't quite as it isn't the same, mm-hmm. but it just reminds me of that storyline.
Yes, yeah, it's definitely someone looking for that peace.
Yeah,
for that feeling of being held, being nourished, being loved.
Yeah, and wanting to return to that love.
Yes. So it starts off with heading down south to the land of the pines. So I don't know where he was going, Bruce, but you know what I'm about to say, right?
It sounds like he's coming
Georgia
to Georgia.
Pines.
Yeah, that's exactly what I was thinking.
Yeah, that's funny. But I mean, I don't know, but Georgia Pines is something that's pretty, popular. And I know there's pines up north and all, but there is something about the South and those pine trees.
Especially the state of Georgia. I really feel like Georgia pines, pine trees in Georgia, it is just something that is indigenous, to use a big word, to this state, and it is kind of specific to this state. And if you're from Georgia, or if you know Georgia, then I think that is something that a lot of people will understand, is that just it's almost unmistakable to me.
Yeah. Only he's going to North Carolina.
He's thumbing his way to North Carolina.
But that may be because he wants to get there so he can get to Georgia.
That's true.
Who knows?
He might know somebody he can stay with there.
Right. But you're right. There's something about A pine tree, Bruce. You know that the pine, that's why we use Christmas trees, are a
Pine
type
needle.
of pine tree.
Yeah.
They are evergreen.
Ah, yes.
So
Yeah.
there is some sort of, wisdom in the fact that he's going to the land of the pines. He's going to a place where he believes there's always life.
Oh, yeah.
There's always green. There's always newness, birth, fresh spring, I guess. I don't know. That's,
Yeah, no, I love it.
Pines are evergreen.
That's amazing. And one of the things that I had never seen anybody do this with their landscaping until I moved to this state, and that was using pine needles in their yard for I want to call it mulch.
Yes.
And I had no idea that anybody would do that because there weren't that many pine needles like these in the other places that I lived up north. It wasn't quite as prominent. That's why I feel like this song has that reference for that reason, that when you head on down south, you are heading into the land of the pines. Whether it's North Carolina, whether it's Georgia, it could be Mississippi, Alabama, or South Carolina.
Just south.
Yeah,
right.
Just south.
Right.
I feel like
right.
you get into an area where the pine trees like we have here especially, they are just so much more prominent.
And another thing I would like to talk about, and we can move on, but a pine tree is straight.
Yes.
And it grows straight and tall.
Very tall.
Reaching for the stars, reaching for the skies. To me, you can liken it to the redwood forest.
Yes.
You know how people are drawn there because of their magnificence in their stature.
No, that's so true, yeah.
Pine trees also grow very straight and very tall.
They certainly do. Holy cow. If you look out there in our community right now, you can find some very tall pine trees. That is no joke.
Yeah.
But he's thumbing his way down to North Carolina, staring up at the road, and pray to God I see headlights.
He's walking.
He's hitchhiking. Yeah.
And he's wanting a ride.
Yes, he is.
So he's saying, God, please send me a car.
Yes, yep, exactly.
But headlights, to me, staring up the road. So that's another reference. Why isn't he staring down the road? He is keeping that feeling of optimism.
I was just going to say hope. Yeah.
Yes, hope, optimism, because he's staring up the road.
Yeah.
It's like I just know I'm where it's forward, where I'm going.
Yeah.
It's forward. So, and pray to God I see headlights.
Yeah, looking to the possibility.
And that is in the darkness.
Oh, yeah.
Is where you always can find light.
Holy cow. It makes it a lot easier to see the light when it's dark out, that's for sure. And especially when you're on a road. Now, you could see some headlights behind you if you're driving in a sunny day. That's true. Off in the distance, you could potentially see that, but it would definitely make it a lot easier to see it at night.
So he's looking for the light.
Yes, he is. And he made it down the coast only in 17 hours.
I wonder why 17.
Well,
I mean, was he really timing himself with a watch? Or 1 + 7 = 8, which is the infinite abundance.
Yes.
There's so many magical things about this song that you don't even think about.
Yeah, no, I couldn't agree with you more. Thinking about the pines and being in those magical forests, and then thinking about those numbers, I agree. It's really interesting too that he mentions something in the song in the next line. Picking me a bouquet of dogwood flowers. And I hadn't seen so much of a reference to dogwood until, once again, I moved to Georgia.
South.
Yeah, that is something that is very prominent, I feel like, in the South.
Oh, yes. I remember that too. Coming here, dogwoods, they are Are they the state flower? I'm not sure.
That's a good question.
Yeah.
We are going to find that out. But it is true.
There's pink dogwoods, there's white dogwoods, and I mean, it's almost every yard you look at.
It is. And it could be in other states. They could grow absolutely anywhere. So if you guys out there have dogwoods in your area and you maybe are not in Georgia, please tell us about it. However, I believe that there is something about Georgia and the dogwoods that is very prominent here because there are businesses down here that have dogwood in their name. There are streets that have dogwood as their name as well. And so I really feel like it isn't just the plant and the flower. It is truly in this area. It's like a
And
part
the
of it.
other thing that is coming to mind is the fact that he picked a bouquet of dogwood flowers. Now, when most people think of picking a bouquet of flowers, it involves bending down to pick flowers. Dogwoods are trees. So once again, Bruce, he had to be looking up to pick the flowers. He had to reach up to get the dogwood flowers. So once again, there is that, reference of hope, of optimism, of looking up.
Oh my gosh, that's amazing.
Yeah.
That's amazing. And he's hoping for Raleigh. He could see his baby tonight.
Oh, guess what, Bruce?
We just found out some more information for y'all.
It is not the official state tree of Georgia. The flowering dogwood is known for its beautiful blossoms and importance. It holds significant relevance in Georgia. It's a symbol of spring. It's a valuable food resource for wildlife and a source of cultural and historical interest.
I think we nailed it. Yeah. Well, then that's. Thank you for.
Thank you, Allison.
Thank you, Allison, for the help.
The symbol of spring, like I said, optimism.
That's amazing.
Beautiful.
And that's why he's hoping for Raleigh. He can see his baby tonight.
Yeah.
Part of the story that we were talking about. This whole song has really, to me, it has a message of hope all the way to the very, very end of it. And to me, that's what I really feel and see in this. And that's...
And Bruce, the good thing or the thing that I would like to share with everyone is, yes, this song, he is speaking about his baby, his woman, his love. And we all can find that love, even if it is not physically manifest in another person.
Yes.
It is within and around you.
Yes, we all can have it for ourselves. We tend to look for it outside. We tend to think that it's always going to be something that we get because we achieve this amount of money, we achieve this love and relationship with somebody else, or we find something outside of us that gives us love. And the reality is that it's always inside of us.
Yes.
And how would you recognize it if it were outside of you if you didn't have it within you?
Right.
If you don't have something within you, you're not going to be able to recognize it or appreciate it or receive it because you really don't know what it is. And so that's the thing, is that we all have love within us, and that is why we know to look for it.
Yeah. And I love, here we come up on the beautiful chorus.
Oh, yes.
So in this song, I guess it's pretty obvious that he calls his baby Mama.
Yeah.
So rock me, Mama, like a wagon wheel. When I hear that, I go to a different place. For me, Mama is Gaia, is Earth,
Mother Earth.
Yes. Is that place of nurturing, of nourishment, of protection, of just pure unconditional love of a mama.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah,
and
absolutely.
Then I was thinking about this, rock me, Mama, like a wagon wheel. I don't believe anybody alive on this earth right now can truly, truly say that they have experienced a real wagon wheel ride. I'm talking about a covered wagon.
Unless they've recreated it for whatever reason. You are
Right, but
absolutely
even
right.
then, you know, people, that's how they traveled with one another, was on covered wagons.
And for long
there
distances.
were no roads.
Yeah.
There were not smooth roads.
Yeah.
I mean, even now when you like go to a fair or something and ride a wagon, it's on a path that's been made for the wagon.
Yes, it is.
Whereas these people traveled just across this land on this like wheel that was handmade.
Yes.
And so there was a natural bump rhythm, you know, just this smoothness, like sitting in a rocking chair.
Yes.
And I really, really love that that's what they reference this whole song about. Rock me, mama, like a wagon wheel.
Like a wagon wheel. And what's interesting about it is nowadays, thinking about how technology has advanced so much and how we function with technology, the wagon wheel was an incredible technological advancement.
Oh, it was.
And so that part of it is something that's completely lost in this world of computing and all of the things we are now exposed to, because to think of the wheel of, you know, we like to say we don't need to remake the wheel, but to forget that the wheel was such an incredible technological advancement.
Oh, it was.
And there are places that have names for their cities, because in those cities there were people that worked on wagons. And I'm going to actually reference one of them, and that's Mechanicsburg, Pennsylvania. The name Mechanicsburg, mechanic, was for people to fix the wagons as they headed west.
Wow.
From Harrisburg, they went through Mechanicsburg, and they would get fixed there if they needed fixes for their wagons. The last place that they would stop at would be Fort Carlisle at the time, which was one of the farthest places that was inhabited by the colonists, I guess you could say, before they started to head west. It hadn't become St. Louis at the time, because that was even farther west that nobody had gotten to yet. And so they would drive their wagons through Mechanicsburg, and the mechanics would fix it. That's how the borough pretty much got its name. That's a part of the story there.
Yeah. That is so cool. Yeah. So rock me, mama, any way you feel. Hey, mama, rock me. I mean, is that not the most beautiful? For me, it's not a cry of help.
No.
It is a acknowledgement.
Yes.
Of the beauty that comes from a mother's love.
Oh my goodness, I was just thinking that, where you could be holding a child and rocking them.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
And rock me, mama, like the wind and the rain. You know?
How many people, just about everybody I know loves to just sit and listen to the rain.
Oh, yeah.
And just to be, it brings a sense of peace.
Yes.
Because I believe that the rain in its essence is washing away.
Yeah.
And I think without people even realizing what is happening, that peacefulness sound of the rain is tied into the fact that whether they know it or not, everything is getting cleansed.
Yes.
Because the energy, everything, the air, all around them is just getting washed clean.
It is. And even though there are certain animals that tend to run away from storms, there is something so fascinating and magical to me about storms.
Oh, yeah.
And,
I love to watch storms.
Oh, my goodness. Now, then he goes on to say, rock me, mama, like a southbound train. I think that the southbound part of this is a little bit of a reference to how he is actually traveling south. Mm-hmm. So it makes sense to add that in, but also a train has the same feel when you're riding in a train as riding in these wagons. There's a rocking sensation. There's a traveling sensation that is very much a part of that sense of not just being that smooth ride that you might feel in another form of transportation.
Well, I was even thinking, though, that when I'm in a car, on car rides, a lot of times, if I'm not driving, I can take a nap.
Yes.
It will put me to sleep.
It's very smooth.
Yeah. Something, I guess, about the movement.
That
about
is.
the rhythm of the wheel moving. And yeah, it can put me to sleep.
That's amazing.
There's something else. When you think of a northbound train, for some reason, I don't think of it as smooth as a southbound train. Only because, I don't know, this is the way my brain is thinking right now. North, you're going somewhere with purpose.
Yes.
It's like you're heading north. You're going somewhere with purpose. Where to me, a southbound train, it's like that's where all the beaches are. That's where the relaxation is,
Yes.
right?
Yes. Yeah.
Well, East and West has some beaches too, but most people go to Florida. And there's something about when you're heading south. And the South is known for hospitality.
It is.
And relaxation and kind of laid back.
And warmth. Yes.
Yes. Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So.
And he's running
From the cold.
up in New England. And then he gives us a little bit of a backstory, if you will. He gives us the running from the cold up in New England. I was born to be a fiddler in an old-time string band.
Yeah.
And I love that because it really, really catapults you to a different time, hearing him say that and hearing them sing that.
I gotta say, I love me a fiddle.
Oh, wow, yeah.
The Charlie Daniels Band.
Oh, wow, yeah.
Devil Went to Georgia, yeah.
Well, and that's a part of, the first time I heard this song, it was actually sung by two singers. There was a male and a female that were singing together, and they could sing it together in harmony, and that was just so angelic.
Now, is this Old Crow Machine Show?
It is Old Crow Medicine
Really?
Show.
I can't wait to hear it.
And but they talk about these different instruments.
Right.
And
My baby plays a guitar, and he now picks a banjo.
Yeah, which are kind of indicative, or indicating of bluegrass. But it also has its roots. I'll never forget watching growing up, I used to watch TV specials where there would be really, really amazing banjo players. And I was fascinated listening to those banjo players because that is such a magical instrument.
Yeah. Yeah.
But
well,
so
sound
is the fiddle.
itself.
Yes.
Here we are talking about, he's talking about being in a band and playing instruments. And we now know that sound is a lot of what we are, who we are,
gosh.
What this whole world is made of is sound.
Our essence.
Yes.
Everything about us.
So beautiful.
Yeah. And Donna, you've mentioned it, that down at the cellular level, every cell in our body is made of sound and light.
Yeah.
And it's just amazing. And vibration. It's amazing to think about that. And North Country winters keep getting me down. And that is something that, there are certain places where if they experience a lack of sunlight, they have a reference to kind of people,
a depression.
People feeling a little bit more down because they are not exposed to a little bit more sun and warmth. And so I can understand that. But it's also because just like the very beginning of the song, when he's looking, up the road, looking for headlights, he's looking for light.
Yeah.
And that's one of the most beautiful parts of this story.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then he goes into another portion of his kind of like, I think, foreshadowing. Lost my money playing poker, so I had to leave town. But this is something that a friend of mine up north had mentioned one time, that this line is his favorite line of the song. But I ain't a turning back to living that old life no more.
Yeah.
And that is something that is, it's not that this is saying in a way that is negative about his experience. It doesn't necessarily paint the most positive part of that experience, but it definitely looks at it as something as, okay, I've grown.
Right, I've turned the page.
I'm moving on.
Yep.
I'm going to somewhere where I'm looking forward to what it is.
Right.
I'm looking forward to what I can experience, and I ain't a turning back to living that old life no more.
Right.
You know?
I think a lot of us are there right now.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah. So then we go back into that chorus
Yes.
of rocking me, mama. Rock me like a wagon wheel. Rock me, mama, any way you feel. Hey, mama, rock me. Rock me, mama, like the wind and the rain. Rock me, mama, like a southbound train. Hey, mama, rock me.
I love that.
Yeah. And then walking to the south out of Roanoke. I caught a trucker out of Philly. We were talking about Philly. Isn't that interesting how they actually reference Philly as in, hey, that's where you get your wagons fixed.
It's in the same state.
It's like, I caught a trucker out of Philly. So he actually got help on his way in Philly.
Wow. Yeah.
The help came from Philly.
And he's had a nice long toque. You can read into the toque however you want to, but one of the things that I love about that is just simply that there is a sense of companionship and community, and
sharing a smoke with someone.
Yeah, and just being together.
Yeah.
And if you watch the Lord of the Rings series, there's something about I want to call him the wizard Gandalf.
Yeah, with his long pipe. I love it.
And if you read the books, there is so many references to him smoking his pipe and the different kinds of things that he would smoke. And I have to say, I think it's just something that really brings people together and brings a sense of relaxation, whatever it is.
Yes, I agree. It's that camaraderie.
Yeah.
That knowing that there's someone out there that relates to you and that gets you.
Yes, absolutely. Yeah. And he's heading west from the Cumberland Gap to Johnson City, Tennessee, which coincidentally is just, a little bit north of Georgia. Mm-hmm. So I love that. And I got to move on before the sun. And I think that's the reference to he's trying to get there before the sunrise.
Yeah.
Because he wants to get to where he needs.
A new day.
Yeah, he wants to have that sunrise where he gets to, which is so positive.
Right.
It's looking forward to being there already when that sun comes up. And I hear my baby calling my name, and I know that she's the only one. And I love how he says that in the song. It's like it rolls like looking at I would say like the Van Gogh Starry, Starry Night painting. It like has that flow to it that is so spirally and beautiful. And if I died in Raleigh, at least I will die free.
Yeah. Free from what?
Well, it depends. Some people feel like if they die in the South, they're going to be free.
Interesting.
Because they feel very strongly that the South is their source of freedom, that source of everything that they believe is good.
Yeah.
And I think that in a way, it is also, to me, and this is my way of looking at things, death is not a true death.
Oh,
we don't really and truly die. We transition and we keep going because energy never dies. It just transfers. And that's the science. But aside from that, we never truly die. And I think that that's what he means is, and if I died in Raleigh, if I get to where I feel like I'm trying to get to, then I've found my place. I achieved my goal. I am where where I know my love is.
Yes. I was going to say, I think he's at that place in his life where he knows that it's not truly about the destination.
Yes.
It's about the journey.
It's about the journey. That's such a
and he knows that he's not turning back to living the life he came from.
Nope. Yeah.
And he's on this journey. He's looking for the light, and he knows that he's loved.
Yes.
He knows. And so if he dies, he knows he's going to die free from everything that he was experiencing in his life before he came to this very moment in Raleigh.
Absolutely. And what's really interesting about that moment is that he actually doesn't reference his baby. He says, I hear my baby calling my name and I know that she's the only one. And if I died in Raleigh, at least I will die free. That dying at that moment is past.
Right.
This other person that's on the outside providing the love and happiness.
Yeah.
The dying free and feeling loved and all of that at the very end of it is all inside of him. It's all internal. It's an acceptance. It's acknowledgement. It's that confirmation that he knows he is loved.
And
Truly.
how does he know that?
Because it's in his heart. It's in him.
And because he likes, yes, because he allows Mama to rock him.
Yes.
He allows the earth and everything that he is in existence on this earth to rock him.
Absolutely.
You know, like a wagon wheel.
Like a wagon wheel. And we had another reference that Allison had pulled up for us with the wheel of time, the wheel of life, the wheel of the cycle of life, the things that are rejuvenating and rebirth, and how a wheel is a reference of that. A wheel is a reference of perpetual and also infinite. And
reminds me of a song we did, The Wheel in the Sky Keeps on
Turning. Yes. And so, you know, that's a part of this.
It is.
Rock me, mama, any way you feel. Hey, mama, rock me. Rock me, mama, like the wind and the rain. Rock me, mama, like a southbound train.
Hey, mama, rock me.
Love
what
the
a
song.
beautiful song.
The song Wagon Wheel originated from an unfinished Bob Dylan demo called Rock Me Mama, recorded in 1973 for the Pat Garrett and Billy the Kid soundtrack.
Cool.
Dylan fans named the song after the chorus's refrain, Rock Me Mama. The song leaked to bootleggers, and Old Crow Medicine Show's Critter Fuqua found a copy in London as a teenager in the 1990s. He sent the tape to bandmate Ketch Secor, who wrote the verses around the chorus to create Wagon Wheel. We just read that from a source that our friend Allison, our engineer, found for us. And so
awesome.
I don't know if I could cite that source necessarily, but that's okay. I would just say that that is amazing. Thank you, Allison, for finding these things. She also found the information that I just told you about the wagon wheel and its perpetuity and those things.
Right.
So.
Well, there's the wheel in tarot.
Oh my gosh!
So it's all about life. It's the medicine wheel.
It is the medicine. Oh
the
my gosh,
indigenous knew of the wheel for a long time. Yeah.
Wow.
So thank you guys.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. This has been a beautiful day. We love you and we love doing this for you. Thank you so much for listening and being here with us on Lyrical Wisdom.